Hi, thank you for joining us today. My name is Dennis O'Hara with Century 21 Celli, and as part of our ongoing Lender Spotlight series, I'm here today with Jamie Simpson of StonehamBank. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you for joining me today. So what is your title here at StonehamBank?
I'm a mortgage lending officer. I've also been elevated to a vice president about 7 years ago.
Okay. And so let's start off talking about you. How did you get into the business, and what do you like about helping people secure their mortgages?
Great question. So I started in 1997 at the StonehamBank as a home equity manager, building the home equity portfolio. And ever since then, I really enjoyed helping people buy properties, which was my main goal at that point, was to help them to get the down payments to get into homes. And then within 2 years, I moved to a true mortgage originator. So in '99, I got an offer to do that, and I've been doing it ever since. There's really nothing more valuable than helping people realize their dream of home ownership. So I've been doing that since 1999, getting better at it every year, and been here since then.
So we're safe to call you sort of an expert in the mortgage field.
I learn every day.
Yeah.
You know, it's a changing environment every single day. But I would say I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot, and yeah, I'm pretty experienced. I find myself in a position of just helping people tailor loans to what their needs are.
Excellent. So you're learning every day, but why don't you start off with those of us that know nothing? What is the process if I'm looking to purchase a home, say in the next 6 months to a year? When do I start out, and who do I talk to first?
Great question. So normally when I'm talking to a first-time home buyer or anybody who has not been into purchasing a home, you want to find your team. And I think the team consists of a great loan originator, someone who has experience, someone who knows the market that you're in, a real estate agent that can help you find the property and negotiate for you and be, looking out for you throughout the whole process. The proper attorney or legal help to help you review purchase and sale documents, offer documents. So once you build that team, which is something that I've done in Stoneham with people like Craig Celli, the gentleman that you work for, you then move to the loan originator and you get pre-approved. And what that means is you basically collect your most recent 2 years income information, whether it be self-employment or if you work for a company. You got to look for pay stubs, W-2s for 2 years, tax returns for 2 years, all of your bank account information for a couple months, and then you sit down with me. And what I do in that meeting is we review your credit, your income, and your assets. And those three pieces really make up a pre-approval. In this day and age, the technology is such that we can pre-approve somebody within 45 minutes. It's really cool. It's fast, it's easy, it's free. And also in that conversation, you learn about the multitude of products that are available to first-time home buyers. Or if you're a second-time buyer, you talk about just different products that get tailored to what your needs are. So once you get pre-approved, then your real estate agent will then take you out and start to shop, which is probably one of the most exciting parts of this, I think, right? So once you're out shopping, you then put in an offer. And once the offer gets accepted, hopefully, you then turn back to me and start looking at loan options. And then you start the loan process once the purchase and sale gets signed. And what's cool about working at the StonehamBank is that I can brag about my closing department. We can close a deal typically in 21 days. At 80 Montvale Avenue, our entire underwriting department is here. So if I have an issue, I can walk back and get the issue rectified within minutes. So we're able to process loans in a very fast and efficient manner. And it's also really neat that if you have questions, you can come and actually see the person that you're working with, which I think in this day and age isn't as much of what people think that they need, but in this sort of transaction, I find it really important.
Yeah. Now, so besides first-time home buyer mortgages, you also have other products for people looking to get some of the equity out of properties they may already own, or maybe looking for investment property. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So there's three different options when you're trying to pull cash out of a property. Number one is refinancing the mortgage that you have in the house. We offer mortgage loans from 10, 15, 20, and 30-year fixed rate loans. We can lend up to 80% of the value. Some of the loans do get sold in the secondary market, which means that we outsource the business after we close it. But we also pride ourselves in keeping a lot of the business here at the StonehamBank. We have the ability to not overlook guidelines, but try to make the deal work without having to be so stringent on the guidelines. So that's a really neat thing about this bank. The other way to get money out of a home would be a home equity line of credit, which we offer a really strong product here. Think about how a credit card works. It's a type of product where you access the equity of your home up to 80% of the value, and it gives you money when you need it. You're not paying anything back on it until the time that you actually use it. There's typically no closing costs on that product. We offer introductory interest rates, and then it moves to the Wall Street Journal Prime for the life of the line. So that's another good means of accessing cash, especially in this market, because a lot of people have lower interest rates on their mortgage currently. And when they're looking to pull cash out on a home equity line, they don't have to touch that first mortgage. So that's pretty common right now in this market, but refinancing is also a good option when rates start to drop a little bit. Then with investment property, we do offer loans for people buying investment properties. They're a little bit more difficult to get approved for just because it's a higher risk type product because you're not living in the home. But we do offer them 30 years all the way down to 10 years, fixed rates, competitive, low closing fees, interest rates higher than what an owner occupied interest rate would be, but they're available. So we do offer all that.
Great. So let's talk specifically about StonehamBank. What besides the atmosphere here, what do you enjoy? What are some of the good attributes about StonehamBank?
So what's really, I think, impressive, and as you see the wall behind me, is that we offer up 10% of our total net profit and give it back to the community. We're involved in the community. Like everybody at the bank volunteers at these places behind us and other places as well. So we really go outside of our jobs and, try to get to know the people we're doing business with, which is why I've sat here for 25 years, because meeting someone like you, for example, I wouldn't have this opportunity if I didn't know you or Craig Celli. And the same thing with my clients, being here 25 years, I have a list of clients of approximately, it's over 2,000. And a lot of these people now, sad to say, I'm doing loans for their kids. You can tell by the gray hair. So, it's a really family-oriented place as well, meaning that if something's going on in your life with your family, that's number one priority. And the company treats us like family. It's a really well-rounded place when it comes to the retail side, which is the deposit side. We have 2 branches, one in Stoneham, one in Billerica. We also have a very strong commercial department, and we also have a great residential department. So you combine those 3 pieces. It's like a symbiotic group. And the main goal is to make sure that the client gets what they need. We all treat people pretty simple. We all treat people the way we expect to be treated. This is kind of what we live by.
I was looking at your wall of community partners, and I noticed that there's a lot of crossover between the community outreach that Craig Celli and Century 21 Celli does and what the bank does too. And I think it's because we've got a lot of great organizations in the community that all need help. And I mean, in the 20 years I've lived in Stoneham, I mean, I see StonehamBank name everywhere. Even before I became a customer, StonehamBank has given money to start projects. It's given money to sustain projects. It's given money to save failing projects. Running the gamut of everything you can do to be an asset to your community. And so I'd like to just commend you on that and say, for your part in that, thank you.
Of course. I have to say, I give a lot of credit to our upper management, specifically Ed Doherty, who's been the CEO for a bunch of years. And he took the helm from Jan Houghton, who this community owes a lot to, because that was kind of her goal starting out. This woman's been here over 50 years. She's now the chair of the board, started out as a teller, and then just kind of built on that community feel. And but thank you for the compliment. I'm just a cog in the wheel, and I feel fortunate to be a part of that wheel. But our CEO is focused on that, focused on growing the bank in the right way, and making sure the community is aware of our care for them, and that in turn brings business to us, as it should. So it goes well, hand in hand.
Okay. Last question. So what do you see in the next coming few months as far as mortgage opportunities, interest rates, things like that? Any predictions?
So we're in a very volatile time in this industry. It's probably been the most difficult time I've seen in my time in the industry, which is over 27 years. Predictions about interest rates. So inflation's kind of, high right now, and that's going to keep interest rates where they are, which is an average 30-year fix is in the high 6s, low 7s. A lot of people are doing adjustable rate mortgages right now, which are about 0.5% lower than that. So to get a better and lower payment. So I think that we're going to stay within this sort of condition for the next year or so. We're also in an election year, which doesn't really have a lot of doesn't really cause a lot of movement in the interest rate market. So sadly, I don't think rates are going to be going far at this point, comboed with the inflation piece and the election piece. It's been a difficult market because of that, number one. Number two, and not to sound like doom and gloom, but and Craig will attest to this, as will his team, there's not a lot of inventory out in the marketplace, especially in the southern Middlesex area, inventory being houses. And when something does come on, there's such a large population of people between the ages of 25 and 40 who are trying to buy a home, and a good open house will have 40 to 50 offers at times. That's a little bit high, but honestly, 10 to 15 offers is not an atypical situation. So this is a tough market. I'm hoping and praying that we see the inflation numbers come down and the Fed starts to lower interest rates so that we can have lower credit card payments, lower mortgage rates, which, you know, being in this industry for as long as I have been, I've seen about 4 or 5 cycles like this. And with that said, I believe we're at the high end of this cycle. And I mean, I'm hoping that there's only one way to go from here, and that's down, which is going to help pop the market a little bit and, you know, lower rates, help people afford homes that are a little bit more expensive than they would be able to afford originally. So we have this say right now, it's in the industry, stay alive until 25. So we're hoping that 25 is the year that we see a little bit of change. So hoping for that.
Great. And so if anyone has any questions about what we've talked about today or is looking to get more information from you, how would they do that?
Very easily. You can go to our website, StonehamBank.com. It says meet the lenders under borrow. We have a lot of great lenders on there. You can choose any one of us, but to talk to me, you can just find Jamie Simpson. My direct phone line is 781-481-5741 or Jamie.Simpson@StonehamBank.com.
Okay. And of course, we'll have that on the screen crawling as well. So
awesome.
Jamie Simpson, thank you for joining us today.
Mr. O'Hara, what
really
a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity.
And we look forward to working more with you.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for joining us today at century21celli.com. You can find links to our different properties that we have available. There are some, not a lot, like Jamie said, but there are some. And find out information on the rest of our team. Thank you.